wanted to talk about what are our 5 favorite things and our 5 least favorite things about the Arizona Trail.
So my number 5.
Yes, number 5.
My number 5 worst thing about the Arizona Trail
Yes.
was our hotel in Tucson.
Oh, yeah, that was a roach motel.
Yeah, like we wanted to use that as a rest day.
Emotionally, physically.
Like that was a big day. We went over Mount Lemmon. It was not. You've already seen. It was not a good time.
With the whole time we were at the restaurant, we wanted to get back to the motel, because we thought all our stuff was going to get stolen. Okay, then I get to go.
Okay.
So I'm going to do my number 5. I'm going to get this one right out of the way. It's the ending of the Arizona Trail. You know, making us as bikers go somewhere different than the hikers. Just felt like we were kind of second-class citizens, and I didn't feel like it was a nice way to finish the journey. But I'm going to leave it at that.
Yep. And I'm going to, at this point, just say that's my number 2.
Oh, okay.
I wanted this to be a euphoric moment. It was like, blah.
Blah. Okay, number 4.
Was the beginning of the Arizona Trail.
All right. We went from the end to the start.
The logistics. It ended up being funny.
Yes.
To get the shuttle to the middle of nowhere to start the trail.
In the Hyundai accent.
And then we climbed all day. And it was cold, and I cramped. And
snow.
And then, again, up until the point we met Alan, the first 2 days weren't great for me.
Nope, I'm right there with you. My number 4 was the 8 days of pine forest riding from the start into basically Payson. It was great, it was smooth, but it was just monotonous.
My number 3, same criticism as if you watched our Colorado Trail. A lot of time it just felt like we were riding a hiking trail. This Arizona Trail was better on gradient than Colorado Trail. You could see they put some attention into the gradient for riding bikes. But none of that counts for anything if a switchback is too tight to turn.
Yeah, that was my number 1. The trail itself was my number 1. It is a hiking trail. As a cyclist, it didn't feel like,
with some exceptions, but those exceptions actually kind of it highlighted the bad parts instead of making the exceptions feel good.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, the trail is a means to an experience. It's not necessarily means that the whole trip sucked. It just meant that the trail wasn't great. And there were some parts that just frankly were neglected. As a trail organization that collects dues and that sort of stuff, there had been parts that sound like had been neglected for years. And I didn't think that was cool. All right, number 3, the Grand Canyon descent for me. And about halfway, the first half was great of the descent. The second half, it was just really hard. Just a simple physical fact. I was struggling on the Grand Canyon descent. My number 2 is water. Not the fact that you're drinking from cow tanks and all that sort of stuff. That didn't actually really bother me that much. I had full confidence in our system. It was the fact that over 20 days, I got 0 swims. And I love to swim. And I was just shocked that I thought I wouldn't get that many in, but I was shocked that I had 0 swims. All right, your last one, because I've already done my number 1.
My number 1 bad thing was cat claw. I think I'm definitely physically scarred from cat claw, and I might be mentally scarred where I'm actively avoiding
anything green,
anything with vegetation.
Yeah, totally. All right, so those were the bad, but it wasn't all bad. There were lots of great moments. So let's go to the good.
Okay, you start this time.
Okay. My first thing I want to talk about are the desert nights. This to me was the magic of the whole trip. It was, we stopped at 4:00 most days, and we got, because of the long nights, we got to spend a lot of time either in our sleeping bag cozy and looking at stars, or just
sleeping bags. We didn't share one.
Yes. Or just, like basically fires and stars, and the temperature was perfect, and I just love desert nights.
Yep, that was nights.
All right.
Also
nights.
on my list.
Okay, you go next.
Finishing.
Oh, that was mine too. All right, yeah.
It's like
finishing.
It's like
doing it.
Actually, just getting it done.
Yeah.
Again, the actual end, as we discussed, was kind of anticlimactic, or it climaxed in a different way.
Yes.
But there's still, especially I think a day later, or even as we were making our way down the mountain, it really started to settle in. Like, we accomplished something here. We rode the trail. We rode it in a different direction than most people ride it.
Yeah.
I thought we rode it strong. Like, we actually rode strong.
Yeah. We did it.
Yeah. So just getting it done.
I'm going to go next.
Yep.
the Grand Canyon climb out. I was uncertain when we woke up that morning that we were going to be able to do it. And we didn't just do it, we crushed it. We passed almost everybody. Like we passed people with no packs, people with packs. We just crushed that climb out. And it just like reaffirmed our capabilities. That is a moment that I am going to keep with me for the rest of my life.
Yep. I also.
It's on your list too?
Oh yeah, I had
All right.
just Grand Canyon in general. Like one, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
It was tough to see because with the tump strap, I was mostly staring at the ground. But
Yes.
every now and then I would look up, and it's truly gorgeous.
It really is.
And just coming out of it, you felt like a superstar.
Yeah.
Like, because people saw the work we were doing carrying those bikes, and everyone, like, we got called badass probably 100 times,
Yeah,
and that's not
yeah.
an exaggeration.
It was pretty cool.
And just feeling like a hero, even though you're doing the stupidest thing possible.
That was always my response. Like, you're doing something awesome. I'm like, I'm doing something stupid. Why don't you go next?
I love the picket post section. Picket post to
dude,
Kearney.
our list is almost exactly the same.
I thought, one, the direction we rode it in, and in general, we'll have this conversation. I think we rode the trail in the right direction.
Yeah, it's better southbound for sure. As a cyclist, for sure.
Yeah. Like the start's hard, the end's hard, but the middle, I would say, is so much better.
Flow is better.
But that picket post to Kearney section, gorgeous, well-built trail. Again, it was rideable trail. It had been maintained.
Purpose-built.
We ended with pizza.
Yeah.
Like that day for a section that most people that go south to north describe as like one of the worst days, and they have to wake up super early to
Do it at night.
Do it at night. Like, for me, that was the riding day of the trip.
It was a 58-kilometer segment of trail, which is mind-boggling. I have Picket Post, Gold Canyon, and Canelo East. Those I kind of smashed those into three things. Those were my 3 favorite days of riding.
And I would totally agree there.
All right, I'm gonna go last.
Okay.
My last one. This guy. Not being able to really put it into words, but Johnny was always there. I think about how many people I could actually do this trip with, and that list is very few. For most part, I think 95% of the time we got along swimmingly.
I was like 99.
Well, maybe not get along. Sorry,
Yep.
we were all on the same page,
Yep.
and then you would have a low moment, or I would have a low moment, and for the most until yesterday, where it got a little iffy when we were both having low moments.
Yep.
The other person was there, and so I just, dude.
Yep.
Yeah. So glad I got to share this experience with you.
That was also my number one.
Aw, look at that. Facts.
Although I will
Facts.
say mine, it has Ben, but it also has other people too. Like for me, I can't imagine doing this with anybody else. And again, that whole notion, like up until the end, we always balanced each other out. Somebody would be having issues, having a rough day,
Throwing rocks.
throwing rocks, doing something. And then we push forward, and we also just kind of knew that like it was okay. Like this is friendship. Sometimes friendship is like you get a little upset and you throw some shit.
It was never directed at the other person.
No.
Right? It was just at the situation. It was always the situation was really frustrating.
Yeah. And then that was just topped off by, again, we've already touched on this, like the people we encountered, just the hikers, just people we met in stores, at U-Hauls, like Adam and Alan.
Yeah.
Like
Cooper
with the amazing cooler.
Yeah.
Like
Just people
that anonymous
generous.
people that are just putting that water there.
Yeah, all the water caches. Wherever you are, thank you.
Like this is that's why you go on these trips, like to have an adventure, to meet people, to test your limits, just enjoy being with your friend.
Yeah, and have a moment that you're going to be able to look back on for the rest of your life and be like, yeah, I did that.
Yep. So
I'm pretty badass and stupid. All right, high fives. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, please hit us up in the comments. I think we'd both be quite keen to answer any questions you guys have.